Virtual Racing School was developed to provide support to the next generation of sim racers. No matter if you're a rookie or veteran or what car or track you'll be racing, our goal is to provide training every step of the way. We found that iRacing can be quite difficult without proper training. There needed to be a way to prepare for on-track racing. With VRS, you can literally learn from the best sim racers in the world, including 4-time NASCAR iRacing World Champion Ray Alfala.
And Ray Alfala is a 4-time champion of the NASCAR Peak Antifreeze iRacing Series.
3-time iRacing Grand Prix World Champion Martin Kroenke.
Martin Kroenke becomes a 3-time world champion.
Rallycross World Champion Mitchell de Jong.
Mitchell de Jong is now champion for the iRacing Rallycross World Championship Series.
And many other top sim racers. Data packs include everything you need to start learning. Our World Championship coaches create the data packs by setting a hot lap or a series of fast laps for you to compare, analyze, and replicate. Data packs also include a tutorial where the coach points out techniques they use to hit the fast lap. This gives you access to the latest driving techniques and setups before you even hit the track. Sign up for a free account and download the VRS telemetry logger. With this application running seamlessly in the background, your laps automatically start syncing to the VRS website. From there, you can analyze and compare 2 laps of your choice, whether it's your data, the coaches, or your teammates. VRS will automatically target improvement opportunities so you can get up to speed even faster. VRS also makes it easy for you to request and schedule one-on-one or group coaching sessions. These sessions can range from 30 to 90 minutes, and you can select the car, track, and setup combination of your choice. Visit virtualracingschool.com today to sign up and get started.
Hello everybody, this is Formula Renault 3.5 once again at Apex Racing TV. We go to a new track on iRacing which was only available not a long time ago, and it's also been a track that has been racing in F3 and F1 and the W Series as well. It's of course the Red Bull Ring in Austria. We've got myself, Jessica Ball, in the commentary box, and Marco on the cameras. And joining me due to Chan not being able to make it this week, we got Jonathan Grabowski in the commentary box. How you doing, Jonathan?
Doing well, Jessica. I'm so thrilled to be joining you guys today on an excellent series on an excellent track. I'm really looking forward to watching this great 3.5 battles going on today.
Yes, we had a very good race last week in Road America where we saw Herbie now actually take the win last week by only 0.3 of a second to James Pinsker in P2. So it should be an interesting battle to say the least. Now, this race circuit was founded as the Austria Ring and hosted the Austrian Grand Prix for 18 consecutive years back then. But I know many of this track as the A1 Ring. That's the most popular name, and then it got renamed to the Red Bull Ring back in 2011 course. Now, this is a new track on the game, which means not many people had enough time to do some practice, but I do know a lot of these drivers have been doing a lot of sessions just before the racing today, and these guys are already looking competitive right off the bat. We're already starting qualifying. It should be a very exciting session.
Absolutely, it's such a fast track. You have to watch. There's so many great opportunities for passing. The real keys here today are going to be how do you break out down after the straights? You know, coming out of the Niki Lauda curve, getting a great run out of that, all the way down to Remus, and then all the way back down to Schlossgold as we then you go into Roush, you go into the Worth curve, and then getting to Rent, getting on the brace, getting into that, and then last but not least, the Red Bull Mobile corner. So the key is going to be, how can you slipstream on these straights and then just rotate the car quickly out of these slow corners today?
Yes, one of the shortest laps on the calendar, so you expect to see times in around about the 115s, 114s, as we're seeing a few people off the track already, which can be easy to lose the car around turn 4, turn 5 area as well. And we got quite a few familiar faces. Obviously, we got Pinsker, we got Sam Broski as well, Tom Wedgwood, who put the car on pole last week. But we've got Tom Delisle, the Australian that's in the race this week, and I think this is very exciting news that he's joined, and quite a few new drivers as well that we haven't seen much in the last couple of weeks. Of course, since this is an official series, people can join in whenever they want, and if they have a good iRacing to go in the top split, then they'll be racing with us as well. So it'll be interesting to see how these times compare, and Pinsker is only 9,000 of a second shy of pole position to Robert Taunton, who is currently P1, who's doing quite well so far.
Yeah, Pinsker looked really great last week at Road America. He had he ran second the entire race, had a chance to take the lead at about lap 15, but overshot the first turn, which allowed Christophe Urbaneau to take the win. But as you're saying, this is a high rating of group of drivers, as you mentioned. Looking at the ratings, iRatings for the drivers, James Pinsker is at a 6,700. Tim Delisle at an 8,000. Edward Sambrowski, who's currently running in seventh, is 7,300. So you have some drivers here who are really highly experienced, highly qualified drivers.
Yes, most people may have raced the Red Bull Ring in other sims, but obviously not around this track, and it's how you adapt to the braking points you learned in the other sims compared to iRacing, of course, because it may be different. It's a different beast, obviously, what people are used to in, say, ACC and F1, for example. As we're watching Eddie now as he comes, well, actually we're watching Paul now as he comes across the line. He's currently 17th right now, but we're seeing a few more drivers setting their final laps right now, with it being a full second separating between first and 16th at the moment, which is probably the closest qualifying we're seeing so far. We're seeing Dennis Verchheim improving. He's green in the first and second sector at the moment, a 1:15.8 for him, and then we got John who's improving as well. So we're starting to see the track evolving a bit more as well, and we're not that long to go. Only an 8-minute qualifying session. We're due to being a short lap. Qualification is key in order to get a good result.
Absolutely, and as you just mentioned, the battle up front is so tight right now in qualifying. Pinsker is 9,000ths of a second behind Robert Charlton, and then Dacomo is just almost maybe a 10th or so behind. So really impressive qualifying up front. We have some really fast drivers that we're looking forward to seeing with about 90 seconds left to go in the qualifying session.
Interesting enough that our last week's pole sitter, Tom Wedgwood, is only in 9th position right now, but maybe he saved something in the tank for now. We don't know, but I know there's few people that may just have a little bit of ounce of energy left in their back pocket and are able to find some more time in their pocket, but sometimes that is not the case right now. We're seeing a lovely helicopter shot as they head towards the final corner of turn 9. Very easy to really get off the throttle there, as Dennis Verchheim actually improves to 14th place, which is not bad for him right now. 9/10 of a pole position, but it's an unfamiliar face on pole position right now. I think everyone has finished their laps. It is Robert Taunton on pole with James Pinsker in P2. A very consistent season for him so far, way ahead of his championship rivals, Edward Sambrowski and Herbino at the moment. So great to see the performance from James as well. I think that's what he wouldn't have liked to not get pole position, but I'm sure he's happy that he's ahead of his main competitors in the championship right now. So I don't think he'll be too disappointed.
I'm sure he isn't. One man who might be a little disappointed, and you mentioned him earlier, is Tom Wedgwood. He was so I watched last week's race prior to this race today, and he was so disappointed in himself. I couldn't believe how bummed out he was in regards to what happened to him at Road America. He had a great pole lap, had the lead. He had an issue on the exit of Canada corner in the first lap and climbed his way back up. But in his post-race review, he was so disappointed.
Yeah, you can tell from the way he was speaking as well, and I'm sure it's going to be even more motivating to get a better result in the race, because you don't really score that much points in qualify, you score it in the race. So looking at the qualifying results then, and your grid order for this evening's race, Robert Tarleton, the American, is on a pole with James Pinsker in second. We got Fabio in third, Tim Delisle in fourth position, Yuki in fifth, Jaden in sixth. We got Edward Sambrowski in seventh. We got Carlos in eighth. Tom Wedgwood in ninth. Philip in 10th position. We got Benjamin in 11th. We got Phil Reed in 12th position. We've got Greg Olsen in 13th. Dennis Bertheim in 14th. Dennis in 15th. Theodore in 16th. Mitchell Green in 17th. Paul Ilbrink in 18th position. We got Mikhail in 19th. Ed Taylor in 20th. John Hutchinson in 21st, and Flip Preschnader and in 22nd position, and that rounds up your grid for this evening's race. And don't forget, no pit stops, which means if they get damaged, then they're going to lose a lot of time already. And it's just about the speed that these drivers are going to do, and the pure pace as well, because it's a very fast lap as well, and a very long run into turn one as well. If you get that wrong, you're going to be in trouble. So we'll wait to see how these drivers handle it, of course. The drivers will be getting into it straight away. Based on the qualifying results, Jonathan, any predictions on the win today?
I really think James Pinsker is going to do really well today. You know, based off of what he did last week, he's a really fast guy, and I'm going to call him for the win.
That is not a bad move as well, and we're about to get started then, underway, and with lights out and away we go. And there's a few people that have got some awful starts, but it is Tarleton who was on pole that's got a really good start, and everyone else was caught napping, and there's already contact in a turn one. I believe that's Carmo who was, I think, got caught out as well, but there's quite a few people that have got a bit of damage already, but Tarleton already leading from Pinsker. 6/10 of a second already. The top two are just running away with it right now. Let's see how they all do heading in towards turn two. We're seeing a lot of people going side by side there. They're going to be late on the brakes. A really heavy braking zone as well. One of the only heavy braking zones on track, and whoa, someone's had a bit of a flip there as well. So a few people gained position, a few people lost position, and it's about how they come back from it right now. But Pinsker's already gained some ground on Robert Tarleton, and he's right on the back of him so far, so he's going to try and get the right hand side of this corner then, and I think he's got him into turn 6. Brilliant move from James, and he's in the race lead. Brilliant stuff.
Great stuff so far. Tarleton had a great jump off the line, but James Pinsker has been lightning quick on this first lap. And as you mentioned, multiple accidents in the first lap. Fabio Di Carmo had a big issue in the first turn. And let's see how these guys manage it as we look at Tom Wedgwood behind, with Carlos DeCero right behind him. This is a battle for 5th and 6th place as we complete lap 1.
Yeah, indeed. This is very, very exciting. I always like the battles in the midfield around here. Remember last week in Formula 1, if you were watching it as well, the midfield battle, I think, separated from 7th all the way down to 11th place. And we're seeing something similar here as well, which is great to see. It is 6th up down to 12th. So already Formula Renault 3.5 is doing better in that sense. We're seeing more people gaining positions side by side. We've got the Carlos trying to make some ground as well over Greg Olsen, who has gained quite a few positions off the start, which is great to see at the moment. Paul not having a good time out there right now. He's down in 19th.
Ilbrink's had a really, really tough first 2 laps here at the Red Bull Ring. Let's take a look at that replay. Oh, here's Tim Delisle.
Yeah, he's gone to the pits. I don't know why he's gone to the pits.
He must have an issue. Let's take a look at, here we go. We have a start replay. It's ready to go. Jumps off. And someone next to him got a rocket start.
Yeah, I wonder if he was just caught out or something like that. Yeah. I think he had nowhere to go as well and caught up everyone's instant, and boom, he just lost a few places as well. But at least he's still going, 21st place, but there's still a long way to go. A lot of other people can make mistakes. We've got Bertheim that's also had an instant as well. He's in the pits, and we've got Phil Reed as well in the pits too. So quite a few more incidents than last week, I have to say, but it is Austria, it is a new track. People are still finding their feet, their rhythm, and also getting into the groove a little bit more as well. So not really that surprised right now, as we've got a few people going a bit wide there. That's allowing for Taylor to gain some momentum. It's going to be 3 wide then.
3 wide.
Heading in towards turn 3. It's almost going to be 4 wide if they're not careful, but look at this. Taylor has not put a foot wrong in this race so far and has put the pressure on all of these drivers as well. We've got Theodore Burns. Can he have a look on the inside of green? No, we can't. As we go downhill then, it's really, really hard to manage your car when you go downhill around here as well, because obviously most of the lap you can go full throttle, apart from obviously turn 1, heading towards turn 3 as well with the heavy braking zone, and obviously turn 4 as well is Pinsker. What he's saying, the fastest lap so far. They're already running away with it right now, but I think the battle here mainly is going to be about the midfield spots as they start to gain as many points as they can. Don't forget, these drivers can use DRS whatever time they want to. It's not like Formula 1 where they've got DRS zones. They can use it at whatever time they want. So here comes Preshnader. Don't forget, he started dead last, P22 on the grid, and he's already gained some massive feet right now. He seems to be loving this track as we go up the hill then, heading towards turn 2. Can he make ground of Burns? It's going to be difficult to say the least, but I think it looks like Burns just has it covered there as well. But if Preshnader actually gets the move done soon, he could get past green if he can as well. So now heading towards turn 3 then. Does he have him covered? He does not, but he's definitely giving him one for his money. I have to say, great race for the pair of them. Huge respect. The drivers know each other very, very well, so it is expected, I have to say. Here we go. Philip Preshnader up 9 places now, up into 13th. Wow.
And looks like Burns is going to retaliate. Let's see. He's going to take the inside. Will he? Looks like here they go side by side going into the turn. Oh, and it looks like Burns is going to complete the pass. And nope, sorry. Preshnader is going to complete the pass, and he'll stay in 13th spot as we complete lap 5 of this 28-lap race.
Oh, it looks like they're not giving up, are they? Look at Burns right on the back of them. This is insane racing at the moment. He's got the slipstream. He's right on the back of Preshnader. Preshnader must be feeling the pressure right now, heading towards turn 2. And you can see the other cars in the background as well. And it looks like Burns just has Preshnader once again then. But look at this. Preshnader has a very good exit into turn 2. Absolutely sensational. But look at this. Burns has a better entry line heading into this corner, heading towards turn 3. Down the hill they go there. Lovely helicopter shot, as you can see. Preshnader, I think, has to concede, unfortunately, but he had a good run into turn 4 last time, so I'm assuming he's going to have a much better run here.
To the outside. Oh, great driving by these two. Great driving by Theodore Burns and Philip Preshnader. These guys are really going at it for 13th and 14th. And they have the ability too, because this is such a drafty track. They're able to slipstream each other, you know, and almost literally take turns on these long straights.
And because of this, they're able to keep the rest of the people behind at bay as well. So I wonder if that's going to go on for the rest of this race. But meanwhile, we've still got battle for 3rd place happening as well, and 4th place as well. We've got Tom Wedgwood and we've got Jaden Laddick as well battling for 4th position. Wedgwood gets the move up into 4th place, but I know Laddick definitely wants to give Wedgwood a run for his money then as we head towards turn 3 in just a second. Can we see a similar move to what we saw Preshnader do a lap ago? I don't think Jaden is that close enough to do it, so he has to stay behind for now too. But I have to say, this is the closest race I've seen so far in this Formula Renault 3.5 series, mainly due to the fact that it's quite short, but I was not expecting it to be this close, because obviously it's a new track, but I'm sure the driver's just going to keep better and better. Someone's gone off. That's Ed Taylor. Oh, that's a shame. That is a shame. He was doing so well in this race so far, and he just got so unlucky. Yeah, let's look at the replay as they head towards turn 3. Did he lose the car by himself? I think he probably did.
Yep.
Yeah, he just lost it by himself. What a shame there, Jonathan.
Yeah, tough luck for Taylor there, running so well, and hopefully he can recover as we go back and look at our leader, James Pinsker. Last time around, hit a 1:16.84.
Wow.
And he is starting to gap Robert Tarleton to about almost 1.2 seconds.
He's definitely not used to this. He's definitely not used to this. He's used to chasing people or maybe having P1. Oh, another driver that's gone off. That is Dennis. Yeah, Dennis Corno. And we'll look at the replay for that. And I think that's just got the exit turn 1. It maybe just be the exit turn 1. Maybe clip the curb a bit more. Oh, that's not good. That is not good at all. And yeah, that is his hard work undone, because again, he was a driver that did well as well, but advantage to some of the drivers that maybe were just not gaining through the start. They can gain more from drivers' mistakes, and it's not about where you start, it's where you finish. Here comes Laddie then past turn 7 and heading towards turn 8. He's looking very good for a move, potentially past Tom Wedgwood right now as well, but it's going to be easier said than done, I think, as well, as we almost had some gravel trap from Tom Wedgwood there as they go up the hill heading towards turn 1, but I think Tom Wedgwood is able to increase the gap just a little bit, but he also has a nice battle with Yuki as well for P3, so Tom Wedgwood has found some pace.
Yeah, we're finding a nice battle here for 3rd, 4th, and 5th with Shirakawa, Wedgwood, and Ladek, and Wedgwood's up 5 spots from where he started this race, so he's starting to climb up and feel his way around here. He's looking really, really racy.
Yeah, all of them do as well, so it'll be interesting to see what happens. But don't forget, you can also follow us on all of our social medias, Apex Racing TV on YouTube, a ton more sim racing action, and hit that notification bell to be notified when we go live as well. You can also find us on Twitch at twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV. And also you can follow us on Facebook, Instagram and Twitter. All of our usernames there are just Apex Racing TV for more of your latest gossip, and you can find out what streams are going live out as well as lots of other streams happening tomorrow as well. We got the IGP Fun F3 race as well. We got Weekend Warriors on tomorrow as well, so plenty of racing action tomorrow still to be happening. But right now, this is where the action is happening. We've got Green versus Mikkel for P10. This is going to be very, very interesting as well, because it looks like Green can gain a bit more in turn 9, but it looks like Mikkel actually lost it in heading towards turn 9, so maybe the moves can be done there. So I'm very impressed with our Maka at the moment, trying to hold on Green, but it is easier said than done, like I said. But we're starting to see more times coming in fastest laps. 1:17.7 for Burns. Questionnaire is still on the back of Burns actually, so this could be interesting. But here comes Laddit then. I think he could gain the speed into this corner into turn 3. Again, not quite close enough. The dirty air is just not helping him, unfortunately, as well.
Wedgwood is definitely the faster of the three of them. Looking at this battle, looking at last time by Wedgwood with a 17:15, Shirakawa with the 17:49, and Laddick with the 17:33. So Wedgwood is the fastest guy. So if anyone's going to make a move, and we got trouble.
Oh, that's Benjamin. That's Benjamin that's lost it in turn 6, unfortunately, which is a bit of a shame. So let's just see what happened in the replay then.
So you have Baruto here.
So he's following the 17 car. Oh, that was a slide there into turn 4.
Just too much speed going into the turn and goes into the gravel trap. So we look back at our leader, James Pinsker, in second place, Robert Tarleton. Tarleton has closed the gap a little bit. A little while ago, he was 1.2 seconds. Now he's about 8/10ths behind Pinsker. So Tarleton picking up the pace here, a little under halfway while working on lap 10 of 28 here at the Red Bull Ring on Apex Racing TV. We're looking around battle for third here with Shirakawa, Ledgewood, and Laddick. This is a 3-car train right now. And we may see Samborski, trying to get into the battle as well.
Yeah, Edward does not want to be chasing these drivers. He wants to be near championship rival. He's going to lose so much points if he can't get past these two drivers of Jaden Laddick and Tom Wedgwood. So it's going to be a tall order for Edward, but he's done it in the past in some of these races, so I'm sure it's not going to be a tough task. Maybe he's just waiting just a little bit as well. But Yuki, I think, is probably got the one that's the most to lose right now, because he's in sitting in third place. He's gained 2 positions off the start. He's in a podium spot, but he knows that Tom Redwood is the fastest guy on track right now, and he knows that he wants to try and get a pass up the inside, potentially into turn 2, which is what he's going to try and do now. And we can also, I think, see Laddie that's going to gain every opportunity if any of these two fail. So here comes Wedgwood. Here comes Wedgwood in onto the left-hand side of turn 3. They make a little bit of contact then, heading into turn, not turn 3, sorry, turn 2. It's turn 2 in the iRacing game, not turn 3, which I actually agree with on this game. But Tom Wedgwood just had the edge there. But we got Yuki still side by side heading towards turn 3. But Tom Wedgwood is doing a fantastic job showing who's boss. Yep, he shut the door, so Tom Redwood in the podium positions right now. Could Jaden take advantage of that? So I know Jaden is quite quick as well around this track.
Yeah, Laddick looking trying to take advantage of the situation here, trying to pass Shirakawa. Let's see if he can make it way on the outside. He's going to tuck in behind. And it looks like Samborski is going to join the party as well as Schiff. So what we had was a 3-car battle is now going to quickly turn into like a 5-6 car battle. And let's see as Laddick looks to the inside, going up the front stretch into Remus, and Jane Laddic's going to take that position.
Wow, amazing stuff from Laddick. I told you he was going to take an advantage on the likes of Yuki, and he did as well. And I think more people are going to go for this opportunity as well. Here goes, we got Samborski, we've got Schiff as well, going side by side. We've got Schiff right in the middle of this as well. This is going to be sensational. It's going to be 3 wide as well. Laddick has got to get a move on as well to make sure he's out the hair. Oh, someone's gone off. Or did they move out the way, or did they get lapped? It might be someone got lapped, but Shiraka is losing all momentum right now, but Samborski almost had him. Schiff almost had Samborski as well. Oh my goodness. This is definitely one of the race of the season.
And this has allowed Wedgwood to pull away from this group, all this battling between these 3 guys. So Wedgwood's kind of chipped away, as you can see, he's kind of pulled away a little bit, and now you got Laddick, Shirakawa, Samborski, and Schiff, and now they're going to battle it out. Yeah, and Michael Green, who ran so well, he's now in trouble.
Yeah, look at the replay. I think it's the same corner that people keep losing it. It's before, past turn 4, 3 and 4. Now, yeah, that's like a lot of people lost it. A lot of people losing it there tonight, but unfortunately, Mitchell find the gravel trap, which is not what you want. But yeah, I have to say, Wedgwood is probably thinking right now, you guys in the midfield, you keep battling. I would have my podium spot quite nicely, and this is what is going on. There's contact. There's contact. Schiff and Samborski touching turn 2. Unfortunately, that is a shame. Hopefully not much damage there as well. You can see Laddick and Yuki that's battling, and Yuki's gained on Laddick once again. He was P4 for a moment, but Laddick got the position back. But here comes Samborski and Schiff again. Oh my goodness, Edward is not giving up without a fight. He's not letting his mistake mess up with him. He's concentrating on the rest of the race, and what a beautiful exit into this corner. And Samborski's up into 6th position. What's happened with Schiff? He's dropping down to 10th position on the road. And yeah, he's just gone from good to bad right now around this circuit. So I wonder if the contact that he made with Eddie, it might be the contact made with Eddie actually into turn 4 and 5, or he just went off himself. Yeah, he went off himself, but it might be in the contact that he had that probably forced him off, maybe due to the damage he might have got. But what a shame. But this will allow more people to join the battle. Maybe Preshner could get into the top 10. We will see. Still plenty of action to happen in this race, and we're almost halfway. We're pretty much halfway into this motor race in around about 30 seconds time.
James Pinsker in the lead. He's now pulled out a 2.3 seconds gap. And while we have it, just want to remind someone of some of our sponsors. So SDK Gaming, these wonderful graphics you're watching right now are provided by SDK Gaming. So you can add virtual live 8 heads-up display to iRacing, show timing towers, enhance relative boxes, mini-maps, fuel calculators, and more. You can stream to Twitch with the most complete overlay on iRacing. So you can broadcast your league and series, SDK Gaming syncs your commentary team's cameras, focus drive, and overlay with your broadcaster. Adjust your team's strategy on the fly with our most accurate live timing on iRacing. That's sdk-gaming.co.uk. As we look at Robert Tarleton, getting through turn 1, he's now going to be 2.3 seconds behind James Pinsker. Tarleton last time by with a 1:17.24. As you can see, the drop-off beginning to happen with some drivers now dipping into the 1:17s. Our top 4 racers are in the 1:17s currently. Everyone's kind of going back and forth between 1:18s and 1:17s.
Yeah, exactly. So we're almost in that stage where we've got pretty much the laps that they almost set in qualifying, and it's starting to put some consistent laps in, which I think will make a difference on whether they get like P7 or P8, for example. And look at this right now. We're starting to see, I think, a battle with the likes of Schiff. We've got Benjamin as well, and Amateur. Yeah, we've got these 3 battling, and they don't want to be too close due to the dirty air. So they've got to be careful, but at least they're giving us a very good show. And look at the lap that Pinsker's putting on right now, a 16.8 for him, 17.1 for Tarleton. So Pinsker has gained a few tenths per lap.
Pinsker's picked up the pace a little bit compared to that previous lap as we ride on board with Phil Ship. Running at last lap, it was a 1:17.12. Currently running in 10th, where he started this race. So prior to race, looking at some of the iRacing statistics. And so looking at the roster, we have some of the best Formula 3.5 racers on the platform. Best guy so far right now, Edward Samborski. James Pinsker is 2nd. Tom Wedgwood's 5th. Benjamin Battereau is 6th. So we have some of the best Formula 3.5 racers on the iRacing platform racing here with us today.
Yeah, and they're just showing why they're the best of the best, because they definitely practice for this as well. Some of these drivers also race a lot of races in the Formula Renault 3.5 series just to get better and better. I won't be surprised if someone's had a spin. I was wondering if it's Schiff, but it's not. It's Amateur, unfortunately, who was running in 8th, I believe, and now in 10th. So let's watch him. And I think it's going to be a similar spot as to other people lost the car as well. And how did other people avoid that, I do not know. But that's a very odd place to lose the car for Admacher, unfortunately. But that is a shame for him.
You know, it's interesting. I expected all the incidents to really be at Remus, you know, that first turn coming off the front straight. But you've seen a lot of stuff happen at Roush and the Worth curve. It's like it's that really funky double left complex that everybody's really struggling with today.
Be honest, in iRacing, that's what I probably would have done as well. I would have struggled there too. It's not an easy car, obviously, on this game, because obviously no traction control, no ABS either. They've got the DRS and they've got the slipstream, but that's all they're really going to manage right now as well. And I think with Road America, there's a few people that made mistakes due to the cooler conditions. These drivers are making mistakes maybe due to the hotter conditions potentially as well. So a tale of 2 halves, I have to say, around this circuit. But the man that hasn't put a foot wrong so far is Pinsker, still leading by 2.8 seconds, and is already still considerably faster than Tarleton, apart from the last lap. The last lap, Tarleton was faster, so Tarleton is catching up just a little bit, but the consistency is definitely helping James. We're starting a nice battle for P6 to 8 then. We've got Schiff and Benjamin going for a move into turn 1. It's nice that Schiff is having a battle, even if he had a spin earlier on as well. He's definitely got the slipstream and toe from Benjamin there. So Benjamin's got to get a move on. He's got to go defensive, going up the hill then, heading towards turn 2. He's also got Olsen right in front of this as well.
That's the line.
He takes the line indeed, and I think they're still going to go side by side, or are they going to stay put? No, they're going to stay put.
Yep, Schiff had a great run. Perfect line coming out of that turn, and he's going to jump onto the straight, and he will take the 8th position.
Yeah, Philip definitely good comeback for him so far, despite all the troubles he's had. So great to see him up there battling with the best of the best, of course. And it can all count with the points in this championship because every point matters. And due to the fact that there's no pit stops, they won't be relying on any strategies or any undercuts or overcuts. They're just relying on themselves, setups, and the pure pace of the drivers themselves, really. So they've got to think about their racecraft as a whole too, which is what these drivers have been learning about the car around this track, and also the driver's ability around this track too. And we're starting, I think, to see more clean battles around this track. I think the main mistakes we've been seeing are mainly drivers that have lost it on their own. There's been a few occasions where there's been a few contacts, but mainly it's due to just a bit of a spin. They've clipped the curb or they went near the gravel trap. But it looks like Eddie is trying to go for a move on the Japanese driver of Yuki.
Yeah, Samborski and Shirakawa here in a battle for 5th spot. As they enter the turn, Samborski going to tuck in behind. As we get into this complex, getting past the lap cars, we head into Roush and then into the Worth corner. Borski trying to tuck inside, he will, as we enter Worth. This is such a fun little complex in the game. As we now head down into Rent, which is a fast turn. And then the last turn, Red Bull Mobile. And we're going to be back on the front stretch. So I'll give you a quick moment. I want to thank some of our sponsors, Virtual Racing School, virtualracingschool.com. Improve your on-track performance with 50-plus data packs, road and oval racing, setups, track guides, data analysis, and one-on-one coaching. So that's virtualracingschool.com. And the Apex Racing Academy, apexracingac.com. 29 data packs, setups, track guides, integrated with VRS, and weekly group coaching sessions plus more. That's apexracingac.com. As we look at Samborski trying to make a move on the inside of Shirakawa, and he does.
Wow.
Let's see. Shirakawa's going to try to make a comeback. Nope. Samborski's going to chop.
Oh, no! He went off. He went off. I think we saw a lot of drivers do that as well. That was very unlucky. So they're still going side by side here. And I think he definitely lost it. I don't think there was any contact.
He tried to make a block, and I think he just overdid it into that turn. That's which we've seen. We've seen everyone have issues. A lot of drivers have issues in Roush, and it looks like, you know, Samborski went to kind of put a block and just overcooked it. And
yeah, and I think we saw Ed do exactly the same thing.
Is Ed Taylor.
Yeah, Ed did exactly the same thing as well. What is it about that corner today? It's catching every single driver, well, not every single driver, but quite a lot of drivers out here today. And
it's a corner that on paper it looks like it should be faster than it is. And you know, this track is it's a fast track. We know that, and there's you know it's very it's flowy at points like this, and that corner is just it's slower than you think.
Yeah, I think a few people can think they can go flat out, whereas in these cars, you can't. You have to dab on the brakes just a little bit in order to get the best possible turning as well. And I think there was a few people in the chat that were gutted that we saw Ed go off there. And to be honest, I was gutted as well. And that could have been a chance for some good points for Edward today. But unfortunately, he's not going to be happy with that. And I wonder if he's going to share his thoughts in the interview box later. I think he's not going to be happy with it at all. But it's how you bounce back into next week, of course. So let's look at this battle then. For P7, we got Greg Olsen, and we got Benjamin who is currently running in P8 right now. And they're still quite similar on pace, but Olsen slightly slower than Benjamin this lap. But we've got Philip Schiff
just set the fastest lap of the race.
1:16.719. Yeah, 1:16.719 compared to Pinsker's 1:16.749 that he set last lap. So what I'm just seeing, yeah, that was considerably faster as well. So I wonder if he could do all he can to try and catch up to Yuki. It won't be a bad order. Yeah, you can see him in the same camera shot. So yeah, he could be battling Yuki again. Game on, I would say.
Game on for sure. As these guys have been going, everyone's had their issues so far. So, I mean, yeah, apart from our first two, maybe our first three, I would say. I think those are everyone here has had an issue or a struggle at some point. But you know, Pinsker, Tarleton, and Wedgwood have been, you know, clearly the class of the field so far.
Yeah, and don't forget, Tom Wedgwood has gained 6 positions at the start. He started 9th or 8th position, and now he's in 3rd. So he's definitely one of the best in this grid so far. He did say to me last week that he wanted the race victory. Unfortunately, he's not going to get it today, but the race is still far from over. Anything can happen in Formula Renault 3.5, and it usually does. So Tom, just hang in there, and you could still gain some decent points. Another driver that's also kept out of trouble is Preschnader as well, who is staying in 11th place for now, gained 11 positions so far in the row. So another driver that's had a clean race and not had any issues too. So good job to him. And quite a few other drivers not having many issues either. So near the back, don't forget we have already lost 3 drivers.
Just an issue.
I commentate his cursed it, Hudson. Oh, James Pinsker. James Pinsker, fastest lap of the race so far, 1:16.703.
Pinsker responding really late in the race to have the fastest lap, and he has no traffic, he has no one really to draft off of, so that is a very quick lap for James Pinsker.
He's just running like it's trial attack on iRacing, which is still happening right now. And yeah, you can do some time trial attack. There is a competition going on as well. So I wonder if he's entered that. I won't be surprised if he has, to be honest. And I think he'll be one of the favourites for that as well. Don't forget, I'm just trying to think what the pole time was. I think the pole time was in the 150. I'm just trying to see 115s, I believe. So we're not far off from getting that.
Yeah,
115.8 as our lovely cameraman has put it on the screen. So that was nice and swift. Thank you very much.
Thank you to our lovely man in the production box, Marco Barbonera. Still probably rejoicing from a big Italian victory yesterday in the Euros.
Oh, Pinsker responds again with another fast lap.
Where is Pinsker pulling this out of? I mean, so far in the race, you expect, degradation, tire degradation at this point, and he has no one really to draft off of. And Pinsker's just, putting the hammer down. Maybe it's just, I want to make sure that Tarleton knows that he has no chance. Any late race, thing he can do, no chance, buddy. We're going fastest laps.
Almost 4 seconds behind P2 right now. That is what has been happening so far this race. I'm just enjoying the way that he's been setting these lap times as well, and I have to say he's been getting P2s in the first 2 races, and even though he was quite happy with his P2 because he knew he wasn't going to get the win anyway, even though he had a challenge earlier on, but to be honest, every driver wants to win, and that's what he's challenging right now. As soon as he took the lead early on in the race, he's kept it pretty much throughout the entire thing as well. They're on less fuel at the moment as well, so that's probably why the lap times are getting quicker and quicker too. But still, you've got to calculate your fuel, right? So I hope he's got the right amount of fuel in the car, but just knowing him, he does, because obviously these drivers have been racing and are racing for many years, so I'm sure they should be all right. But even the most experienced drivers get things wrong sometimes, and Tom Wedgwood is setting personal best on his lap right now, 1:16.9, so he is going quicker and quicker. And now, as someone was saying in the chat, Schiff is flying, and he's definitely flying right now. He has just beaten James Pinsker's fastest lap time, so he is absolutely flying, and he's right on the back of Yuki. Is he going to go for the center dreams into turn 2? No, not quite, but this toe is definitely going to help him produce even more quicker lap times. I mean, I don't think he's going to get the podium, but P5 is definitely in sight for him.
I don't think a podium's in sight, but Philip Schiff is flying right now, currently running in 6th with Yuki Shirakawa right in front of him. Schiff has been electric the past few laps, and the way he's going, he will make it past Shirakawa maybe the next lap or two. Shirakawa really needs to pick up the pace if he wants to remain in 5th spot.
Yeah, I think that's the case as well, and I think Pinska's just responded again as well to that challenge as well, and he's like, oh, you have the fastest lap, 1 minute, now I'm going to respond with a much quicker lap. There we go, and there's a Schiff with a 1:16.8, so he didn't quite beat his fastest lap time, so...
Right on board on the back of Shirakawa with Schiff right behind him. Schiff really fast last time by in the 1:16.57. Shirakawa with the 1:17.13. And Schiff pulls out. Nope. As they get the turn up a Schleichgold and as they head down. Shirakawa trying to stay ahead of Schiff. Let's look at the battle toward the back. Look at 9th place. We got Samborski and Greg Olson. Big shout out to Greg Olson, who's up 12 spots this race. Greg Olson currently running in the 8th spot, up 12, and he's just past Edward Samborski. As we come back to the battle for 5th and 6th with Yuki Shirakawa and Philip Schiff.
Yeah, I will not be surprised if Philip just gets and sends him. If he doesn't, then he's probably lost. He's going to lose a bit of time. So Philip's one of the fastest drivers on the grid right now in terms of pace and lap time. He's surely got to try and get past Yuki.
We are currently on the last lap right now. James Pinsker is gonna, looks like, if everything stays this way, is gonna take the win. Carlton's gonna be in 2nd, but we have this great battle for 5th right now.
Yeah, I have to say, this could go down to the wire. It may be a photo finish, I would say, for the battle for P5. I won't be surprised. I think they will just use every power that they have just to find the edge at this stage. So watch this space. And here we go. Oh my God, we've got Schiff. They're not leaving much space at all, but they're keeping it clean racing. This is great to see between Schiff and Yuki. Oh, they made contact. They made contact on the final hole. Oh, there we go.
As James Pinsker takes the win.
Oh, but we still got a battle. We still got a battle here. We got Eddie as well. We got Schiff that's back in this as well. This could be a photo finish as we head towards turn 8. Go down the hill once again. This could be valuable points. Is Eddie gonna find more?
Nope, Schiff's got it.
No, Schiff's got it. What a shame. He was looking so quick and then he made that mistake. But that's Yuki that had the upper hand, and it is James Pinsker.
Let's see the replay here. So,
oh, I literally don't know whose fault was that. I think both of them just got unlucky.
It's 6 of one, half dozen the other. I mean, do you blame? I mean, Schiff has to go for it there. I understand Shirakawa, not leaving him room. Let's take another look here.
So, the season has the racing line.
It's the run.
Ooh. It is hard to say, of course, but I'm sure that
it's one of them, as I like to say in America, in NASCAR, it's one of them racing deals.
Yeah, exactly. But it is James Pinsker that takes his first win of the season. A long overdue win for him, but to be honest, it was his from, I would say, lap 2 and lap 3. That it was like the England game earlier on today, where the race could have ended lap 4, and he could have won. So we'll go through your results now as James Pinsker wins by 5 seconds over Robert Tarleton. Tom Wedgwood gets another podium, his second in 2 races. Jaden in 4th, Benjamin in 5th, Greg in 6th, Philip in 7th, Edward in 8th, and we've got Admaka in 9th. We've got Yuki in 10th, Resinator in 11th. He was one of the drivers that gained quite a bit, and Shiv also gained quite a bit too. Theodore Burns in 12th, Mitchell Green in 13th, John in 14th. We've got Dennis in 15th. Paul still kept going, believe it or not, in 16th place. Not the result he would have liked though. Fabio in 17th, Third Charm in 18th, Tim Delisle in 19th, and unfortunately Ed Taylor was 9 laps down, and we got Phil, Reed and Carlos did not make the checkered flag.
I'm going to pull up an interview right now, and I'm going to drag in our winner today, Mr. James Pinsker. James, congratulations on a great victory.
Oh, man. Oh, I'm so happy. Thank you. Thank you. Oh, man.
So take us through your race. You started on the front row. You got a pretty strong jumper, able to make the pass on the first lap.
Yeah, I mean, well, my race, it was, I qualified second, which I was kind of happy with. I knew my strength was in the race pace. But, you know, Robert, you know, he is so fast. Yuki has his incredible start. So he was alongside, but he let me still have the place into turn 1, which was nice. So I was just sitting behind Robert. And then he made the mistake in turn 4, I think, or turn 5, or whatever it is, which just gave me the chance, you know, the tiny chance of like trying to go alongside. Like maybe me and my past self, I wouldn't have gone for that move into turn 6, but I went, nah, screw it, gotta have a chance for the race. So I went for that move and it paid off. Thanks to him to being respectful there as well. And then yeah, from there it was a properly tense race between us, just like Spa at the end of last season. You know, very similar pace. But the slipstream, obviously the slipstream range is the crucial region. So I used so many I used 7 of my 8 DRSs in like the first 5 or 6 laps or something to get him out of the slipstream, that 1 second region. And when he was out of it, you know, he was a little bit faster in the early phase of the race, and he was closing, and he did actually get to like 9 8/10, and I was like, oh wow, here we go. I was very prepared to have to settle for second because he was flying. But then he just made a mistake which dropped him half a second, and from there, I don't know if his tyres went a bit or if I just found some supreme confidence, because from there I never really looked back. I was just then able to build the gap to the end. But you know, massive credit to Robert. He's stupidly fast, and I'm so happy with the result because there's a 5.2 KSLF. And that's crazy for me to be able to win that way. I'm so happy. Ah, man.
Well, before we let you go, anyone you want to thank?
Well, I think well, because I did a bit more practice than usual because I was motivated by some people that I got to race with today who got into the car this week, like Philip Schiff. Again, he did a really good drive. Jaden Ladich, he did a really good drive in this race. And obviously Philip Proschneider I speak to every week. Ed K. Taylor, he wasn't so lucky. So credit to those guys for showing up. I really enjoy having like a group of people to practice with. Tim Delisle made his return, and I feel sorry for him, like getting crashed on the start. So bad luck to him. Yeah. I don't have a team, so if anyone's watching and is part of a team, then you know, hit me up.
Well, James, congratulations, and you know, and thanks for joining us today.
Cheers.
That was our winner, James Pinsker, and I believe we are gonna have next in here
Robert Tarleton, who finished P2 in the race and took pole position in the Red Bull Ring today. Hi, Robert. Welcome to the commentary booth for the first time this season. It was a very quiet race after James took the lead from you. Tell us how it went from your perspective.
Yeah, it was really great to at least get a clean race in after the first race of the season. At first, I was a little disappointed. My car has like some pretty challenging tire warm-up where the rears just have no grip on the first lap. So I was taking it really easy, lost the back end into, I don't know if it's turn 3 or whatever, and in the process of catching the car, I downshifted into first, which is like the last thing you want to do when you're trying to catch the slide. And at that point, that was enough to let James by. I was pretty disappointed with that, but as the race went on, it became clear he actually had more pace than me, and I think it was really just going to be a matter of time before he got past me anyway. So overall, not too unhappy with that race. You know, I'm happy with bringing in good points, but definitely need to find a little more pace for next week.
Yeah, definitely. At the end of the day, it's better for you to finish P2 than you way down the order with making mistakes. So very, very consistent from you. Talk us through your quali lap as well, because it looked like that you had the pace over everyone today. How did you nail that lap to make sure you were quicker than anybody else?
Yeah, so for qualifying on this track, really it's because the corners are so big and the downforce is so high on this track, it's really just having a lot of commitment through the corners and just being confident that you're not going to run wide, because even just like a foot wide, too wide, and you're going to throw away the lap with a off track. And so for this qualifying, I just felt like really confident. It was actually a little unfortunate because my second lap I was running another 1/10.5 up and just lost the back end. So fortunately it was good enough to take pole, but yeah, that was the key for me this week.
Yes, and next week, do you think you're going to be comfortable in challenging the likes of James Pinsker for the race victory, or are you just going to aim for podiums?
Oh, always going for the win. I actually haven't looked at the track for next week. What track's next week?
I will need to double check that. I don't know myself, but I'm sure you will do a fantastic job nonetheless. Before we interview our P3 man, any shout outs you want to give for the stream?
I definitely just want to give a shout out to the community this week. Looking at the grid, I definitely recognized a lot of familiar names from last season, and even familiar names from other series. So it's really great to see more people coming over here, and the competition is definitely getting tougher and tougher each season. So huge shout out to the community, and yeah.
Brilliant. Congratulations on your result today, and best of luck next week when we head to Canada. Well done tonight.
Thank you.
So that was Robert Tolton, who finished P2, and now Jonathan is going to be interviewing Tom Wedgwood, who completed our final podium spot.
Yeah, let me just get him in the chat here. Of course, my chat's being a little slow.
This call does take a while, unfortunately.
Yeah.
Here we go.
There we go. So, Tom Wedgwood. So, I watched the last week's race prior to this one, and it was a very sad post-race interview for you. Are you feeling better after this race?
Oh, yeah, absolutely. That was much nicer, right?
Yes.
Yes.
That's where it should be. I purely got to where I got based off of pace and nothing else. Like, that was it. The only mistake I made was in qualifying, and that's it.
One thing I noticed throughout the race is that a lot of drivers, you didn't struggle at Roush and Worth. Why do you think guys were struggling through that section?
Wait, which one?
Looks the two left-handers.
Oh, I'm not sure. It's got to be one of two reasons. One, they're not downshifting to third for the first part, and the second reason, differential preload. It's setups. It's nothing else other than setups. I use third gear for the first left-hander. That helps the car turn, obviously. And then I do most of my braking before the 50 mark, right? So the rest of it's just coasting. I have a lot of off-throttle oversteer, so it will just coast around there, no problem. I don't have to, like, hold the brakes all the way to the apex or, you know.
So take us through your race. You know, you started about 9th spot. You climbed up 6 spots throughout the race. So take us through it.
Right, so the start, it's all about not getting murdered on the first 2 turns.
Exactly.
As long as you don't get rotated on the first 2 turns, you're golden. So I stayed out of all the incidents, stayed out of the way, and then it was just picking people off one by one at that point. Using the DRS to accommodate for your own mistakes, and then using it to make positions as well. The only difficulty that I had through this race was getting past Yuki. Yuki was using DRS on the main straight to stay away from me, and he had great drive coming off of 1, and I could never match that drive. So when I saw that he used DRS 2-3 laps in a row, I was also using DRS 2-3 laps in a row, and then I decided not to use it because I'm like, this is just wasting it. There's no point using DRS when you're behind someone else that's using DRS. It's just not really gonna, it just evens itself out. It just keeps you with them versus helping you overtake them. And I didn't really want to full send on Yuki because of the lag difference, the time difference. So then he didn't use DRS on like the 4th attempt, and neither did I. I'm like, God damn it, I should have used DRS this lap. But I did the following lap, overtook him, and at that point it was golden because I was in clean air. I didn't have any aero push, and that's when I could pull the gap on Ladek. I think, honestly, I followed Pinska's strategy for this race, which was to not take any pit stops, not go for the undercut, and it got me P3 in the end.
Great. So before we let you go, is there anyone you want to thank?
A couple of sponsors. Pedals, they've been fantastic. Massive consistency. Track Racer for the rig that I'm sitting in. Pretty much it.
Great. So that was our 3rd place finisher, Mr. Tom Wedgwood. So, Jess, back over to you.
Thank you very much. And what a race to pretty much start up the Formula Renault 3.5 around Austria. It was the first time these drivers faced the track on this game as well. And I'm looking forward to seeing how the other series cope around this track as well. I'm sure more series will be going around Austria in this iRacing season, and I'll be looking forward to seeing what happens. So thank you to everybody for watching this race. Next week we head to, like we said earlier, we head to Canada, and again that is another short lap for these drivers to manage as well. Don't forget we got the Wall of Champions. Hopefully people do not crash into that as well. I'm sure we're going to have some great overtakes as well. And we don't forget our sponsors, Virtual Racing School, which have lots of data packs, setups and track guides and data analysis software and coaching. Also SDK Gaming, that provide our live timing service to us, and you can also stream to Twitch with the overlay, and you can also broadcast your league and series there as well. There's a 14-day free trial if you want to try it out, see if it's right for you, and also Apex Racing Academy with lots of other data packs too. Don't forget you can follow us on Twitch and Twitter, twitch.tv/Apex Racing TV, and follow us on Facebook, Instagram, with Apex Racing TV is the username as well. And also, if you're on YouTube, don't forget to subscribe, turn notification bell on, so you know when not to miss a stream, because tomorrow we got some great streams on the way, so make sure you do not miss out. Hopefully Chan will be back in the commentary box next week, but thank you, Jonathan, for stepping in at such short notice.
Absolutely. I had such a blast today. It's always fun working with you and Marco, and also in getting to watch some great racing and talking about it.
Yeah, indeed. And also thank you to Marco, who has done a brilliant job on the cameras as usual. And we will see you next week for another round of the Formula Renault 3.5 Championship, this time around Montreal. Have a good rest of your day/evening. Goodbye, everybody.